Sit back, relax, and enjoy, because, ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime!
It's not gonna happen, and Daniel McMillan,
Pennsylvania native, kept here winning here at Pocono.
Third win of the season, and win the championship.
Ryan Benjamin with the last lap pass.
And he is going to score the victory in the Minute Maid 300.
Salmon Oskin, third win of the season.
He's gonna get it and only leads 3 laps today!
Welcome to the NOFSRL. It's Bristol, baby. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to race number 23 of the inaugural 2020 NOF season of the NOFSRL Mission Barbecue Cup Series. We are live from Thunder Valley, the Bristol Motor Speedway, the last great Coliseum, whatever nickname you want to give this place, for the running of the Randy the Plumber Bristol Night Race. Going to be doing 90 laps around this cereal bowl here in Bristol, Tennessee. Ladies and gentlemen, we're definitely in store for a great one. After a very chaotic Chicagoland race, we come here to Thunder Valley to be doing 90 laps, pretty much 45 miles here in this gymnasium where we're racing fighter jets, to use a Rusty Qualls quote. And especially what makes us even better, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty in points. Eric Monaco is still your points leader. And speaking of Eric Monaco, hopefully for the entire duration of this race, we've got a Napa fan in the booth with me at Napa. It's Bristol. It needs zero introduction. What are your expectations here for these drivers, and especially as the playoffs, or chase I should say, we don't use that term playoffs here. The chase is just 3 races ahead.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting race, but, it's difficult to make a pass here at Bristol, especially if you get a long green flag run. So these guys are starting up front. They're going to have the advantage on the field if it stays green. But it's Bristol. We usually end up with a lot of wrecks here, and I don't know. It could end up in any way, shape, or form here tonight. Just have to see how it all goes down in these 90 laps.
It definitely could, and on the pole here is a number 5 of Brady Wilmington, who is 3rd in points, and then on the left-hand side of your screen, you will see the top 10 in points currently in 2 wild cards, but I'll read them off anyway. Eric Monaco is your points leader as of after Chicagoland with 2,784 points. Landon Smith Jr., who is starting P3 on the field, is just right behind him with 2,731 points. And then Brady Wilmington, your pole sitter, has 2,680 points. And then it's Madison Tall, Benjamin Dover rounding out the top 5 in points. And then Tyler Reynolds, Al Lagasse, Riley Sampson, Cole Sampson, and Zachary Fitzwater round out your top 10 in points. And then your 2 wildcard positions belong to Ryan Benjamin. And then your last winner here in the Mission Barbecue Cup Series, trying to find him, number 7 of Keegan Thompson. There he is, 3rd win of the season, having a very Thomas Troxel-like season, as Troxel is he's won a lot of races this season in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series over on Napa Fans channel, but he's 38th in points. And then same for Keegan Thompson, currently 22nd, and actually no, 18th in points for Thompson. But those wins are definitely keeping his championship hopes alive. But we could see a whole lot of cookies crumbling, and for a lot of these drivers, especially for Zachary Fitzwater, because he only has a 4-point cushion between him and the guy in 11th place in points, James Edwards, and that can easily evaporate here. Taking a look, and there's where Fitzy starts all the way in the front, and then James Edwards in the 32 for Pacific Racing, starting mid-pack in that 32 Toyota Camry. So definitely going to be a very interesting points battle. Going to have 3 races left, including this one. And then tomorrow afternoon, we're going to be having a doubleheader. As tomorrow afternoon will be the ASC Die Hard 400 for North Wilkesboro. And then tomorrow evening will be the Realtree Save the Speedway 350, also from North Wilkesboro. So this weekend is we're getting everything wrapped up here, regular season-wise. Then we'll have a 1-week hiatus, and we'll have our first race of the inaugural chase at the 1997 Oval version of Atlanta, and then we'll just go from there. But that is then, and this is now. Brady Wilmington and the 12 of Nathan Buchanan on the pole. Gotta get the cars rolling off here. Making sure everybody is rolling off, and they are. Napa. This is definitely one of the most wild racetracks in general. Who do you think is going to end up in victory lane after this one?
I think number 62 at Brady Wilmington has the best starting position, and if we get a clean race, that pole position is going to mean quite a bit down the road. So Brady Wilmington in victory lane here for the Randy the Plumber night race at Bristol.
Definitely a strong choice, as that outside lane on the starts does not work. The pace car pulls off on the pit road. 40 Gladiators doing battle here at the last great Coliseum. Green flag in the air here at Bristol. Boom, hit the stopwatch there. 16 seconds already here for Brady Wilmington. 16.3 second laps. As you see, the number 12 of Nathan Buchanan, your outside pulsator, did not get a good jump on that outside lane. The outside lane on the starts does not work here. And speaking of double file restarts, there are no double file restarts here at Bristol. I'm trying to think of the name of this place here, even though it's very obvious. But no double file restarts, only single file restarts. As you see, Landon Smith Jr. has pulled away from these guys, and still two and three wide in some places. This is going to be a single groove racetrack, so these guys are going to be fighting for real estate all night here in these 90 laps.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, especially in the back of the field. This is where all the scuffling is going to be going on. But keeping it clean right now, knock on wood. Hopefully we get a good race. And 97, that check up there. We got some three wide off of turn number 2. Gotta be careful there. That's usually not a good thing to do here at Bristol, but they're going to keep it together there in the back of the field. Go back up front. Brady Wilmington's already opened up a second lead on Landon Smith Jr. right there. So that's some edgy racing right there with Madison Tall and the 77 machine. Bumping and banging there. 3 wide on the backstretch.
Door slamming here. We're still 3 wide. That's your points leader and your driver, Eric Monaco. Since Dave Benjamin Jr. is going to file it back. Oh, this could be dicey here. You do not want to see 3 wide
down
off of turn number 2.
After those guys.
And meanwhile, up to the front, Brady Wilmington already to a huge lead. He is completely checked out from the absolute madness behind him. As Caleb Rose in the back here, just looking for a decent day. Well, Brady Wilmington already in his own zip code, along with the 88 of Landon Smith Jr. We could capture lap traffic really quick here, as we're already a tenth of the way through this race. 3 wide here off of turn 2 between Stapleton, Campbell, and the 8 of DeVito Jr. That got close there between the 46 and the 8.
A lot of good stuff going on back in here at the back of the field. That's actually why they've lost so much time to our race leaders. Brady Wilmington's been able to pull away. Might watch for this one right here. A-Machine a little wide off the corner. But, you know, if this keeps up, it is possible that Brady Wilmington could catch up to the back of the field, and that might bring in Landon Smith Jr. to the lead battle once we get to that point. But that's if we stay green, and by the looks of what these guys are doing in the back of the field, I'm genuinely surprised that they've been able to keep it together, but a good job of these guys in the back of the field. Not wrecking so far here at Bristol.
Yeah, you say so far is a big lag right there. Wrecks are pretty much commonplace here at the Bristol Motor Speedways. You saw Juan Rodriguez getting to Caleb Campbell just a smidgen right there. But back to the race lead, you see Wilmington, and there is last place DeVito Jr. You see there's where they are for the start-finish line. So DeVito Jr. and Wilmington are almost on the same straightaway. So that's 62 of Wilmington, looking for his second win of the season to catapult himself in the points. So is Landon Smith Jr. just looking for a decent run, string of 3 races. He has had 2 DNFs and just 1 poor finish off of the lead lap. You see Wilmington, he is already catching up to lap traffic here. And lap traffic is not something we've had to deal with this early, as we are already have already completed 15 laps of action here of 90 here at the Bristol Motor Speedway.
Looks like Mitchell Collins, I'm going to be closing in there on Landon Smith Jr. for a second. Once we get single file, once we get spread out, it's really difficult to get a run on somebody here at the Bristol Motor Speedway, and that's why I picked Brady Wilmington to win this race. I was expecting we might have a long green flag run, and well, you got to see here if the 62 catches up to the back of the field, which he definitely will catch up to the back of the field. That might bring in Landon Smith Jr. That's when this race is going to get interesting, and you also got to consider, too, I believe we're going to have a cycle of pit stops in this event, so that'll also play into effect on who gets the race victory, but this might be what Landon Smith Jr. needs to catch up to Brady Wilmington here here as number 19 machine there of Juan Rodriguez, excuse me, at the back of the field here, about to be lapped by the 62 of Brady Wilmington.
Rodriguez, first one on the chopping block for Wilmington, and this is a single groove racetrack, so Wilmington trying to meticulously get around that 19. But as he's trying to meticulously get around him, he's experiencing Coda syndrome as number 88 of Landon Smith Jr. hot on the 62's heels. And like you said, this lap traffic is held up in the number 62. Here comes.
He might have the inside here in Wilmington. Just like that. That's how slow those guys in the back of the field are going. And Brady Wilmington now has a rear view mirror full of Landon Smith Jr. for this race lead.
And don't count out Mitchell Collins. Colton Yo also back in here. So is Daniel Voiles. Voiles is the lowest driver in points with a win this season. Won at Watkins Glen like 10 or 20 races ago. That feels like an eternity ago that 26 has tasted victory lane.
Go back to the race lead there.
Wilmington in the wall.
They now knocked Wilmington out of the way, and Landon Smith Jr. is taking it. So Landon Smith Jr. now in the position to lead this race. Here comes Mitchell Collins there for second. Colton Yo as well, looking to the inside for third.
Yeah, if you're stuck on that outside lane, you're gonna have a bad time, as a ski instructor from that one episode of South Park says. But now Landon Smith Jr., now he's experiencing the dirty air and the frustration of trying to pass lap traffic here. We did see a lot of this at the Dodge Motordrome, probably the closest thing we'll race to this season in the Mission Barbecue Cup Series, where lap traffic has kind of smushed these guys together, as Nathan Stapleton, your Indianapolis winner just a handful of races ago, is going to be the first car to go a lap down here at Bristol, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he's the only car to go a lap down. But Landon Smith Jr. is still your leader. Juan Rodriguez is still the first car. Oh, man! Stapleton overdrove the corner.
He lost all the grip off the corner right there, and bad day gone worse for Stapleton, the first guy a lap down, and got a lot of right side damage in the number 98 machine.
Definitely your Indianapolis winner. Definitely, that's probably going to be the high mark this season. I think he's too much outside of, too far of reach to make it in via points into the chase. But a tough break for driver the number 98 for his own team, as we see Wilmington going to the inside of Yo for the third position. I think he's going to get it.
Right there behind Landon Smith Jr. I mean, if Smith Jr. tries to go to the outside to pass some lap cars, that number 50 machine is going to be right there to make the move to the inside. And they got side-by-side lap traffic in front of them. Looks like they'll get by Benjamin Dover there in the number 56. And Collins going to move the racetrack. That might bring Brady Wilmington back into this lead battle.
They're going to have 5 or so cars in this battle for the lead. Voiles is up here making it.
Wilmington to the inside for second on Collins. He'll take that away.
He's going to take second away, but Landon Smith Jr. has a one-car cushion between him and second place, being Benjamin Dover. Taking a look, see pretty much everyone is single file here, as you see the 48 of DeVito Sr. with the back end hanging outside on the top groove here at Bristol. And then there's Fitzy trying to see where James Edwards is. I think James Edwards more towards the back of the field. There he is. So James Edwards was lose some position to Zachary Fitzwater for the final transfer spot. See Caleb Campbell losing some time on the inside lane. Not sure if...
Now that the tire wear has gotten a little more significant, the outside lane is working out a little bit better than it was earlier on. Collins, though, is not really working the outside lane too well. Colton Yo's going to get to the inside of him for third. And I'm wondering if Collins just used up his stuff there while he was trying to battle with Landon Smith Jr. for the race lead. Voiles going to get to the inside, and here comes the 12 machine as well. Nathan Buchanan, the outside pole sitter, starting to rebound here in this one.
I believe he did, as Buchanan way up the racetrack in turns 3 and 4. And Collins side by side with Daniel Voiles for the 4th position. Voiles going to lose it up. They're going to make some contact here. Collins going to lose it up the racetrack, and he's going to lose that position to the number 26 of Voiles. Meanwhile, back to the race lead, it is still the Landon Smith Jr. and Brady Wilmington show, with the 56 of Dover right in between these guys. And Benjamin Dover, he just he wants to get his lap back, and he's not necessarily locked into the chase yet. But I think if he just has a solid next couple of runs, I think he should sneak his way into the inaugural chase for the Season 1 2020 Mission Barbecue Cup Series Championship. And oh man, Monaco in the wall. We got hard hit. Fitzy nearly got involved. That was a massive hit.
And that was Monaco, our points leader, also involved as well. Wow.
I don't think
Massive
it's
shot for Jake Hoover in the 27, and that'll be our first caution of the night.
what a shot that 27 took right. I think he might have hit a glitch in that outside wall, but like you said, that
No, I just think he hit it that hard. He just got shot right to the outside wall there at the corner, and that's a huge one there for Monaco. That's going to set him back in the points a little bit. I don't know if he'll be the points leader at the end of the day.
I'm not sure.
Pit stops going on. Lance Smith Jr., first driver down the pit lane right here.
Yeah, there appears that in these couple of races, we see a couple of guys that were a lap down, gonna not take the wave around. I'm not sure how that works. With the 88 of Landon Smith Jr. down the pit lane, gonna have that third pit stall there in the 88. And, looks like pretty much 2-tire stop. Looks like gonna be a 4-tire stop for that 88 of Landon Smith Jr. Already,
the tire wear was definitely very significant on these guys, and I think we're probably closing in on green flag pit stops anyway. So it's going to be interesting because we got some contact on the pit lane right there. 15 went around, but as I was about to say, we're going to be close on the fuel run here. The fuel run, I think, is about 45 laps, and you said it the 2X, so we may still end up with another pit stop in this race. So this is going to really get interesting if we have a long green flag run to end this event.
Yeah, as you see, 27 of Jake Hooper. He was getting tires there, so they intend to bring that battered 27 back on the racetrack. So that could be interesting right there. But Landon Smith Jr. Got a lot of Smiths in this series. I'm just realizing that now.
Very common last name.
Yes, very common last name. But Landon Smith Jr.
I'd like to say here, it's going to be interesting because Brady Wilmington's going to be right behind the 88 here on the restart, and because of the caution and the lap down cars coming out of the pit lane a lap after our race leaders, Benjamin Dover will not be in between our race leaders now. So this is going to be a very interesting restart with Landon Smith Jr. and Brady Wilmington. All these race leaders going to be right on each other when we restart.
Definitely. As you see, lights out are out on the pace car, but we can go back. We can just going to review this a couple times here. A very massive accident here on the back straightaway involving your points leader, Eric Monaco. So as the field will take the green flag in real time, let's see what happened to bring out the first caution here in the Randy the Plumber Bristol night race. So no surprise here, 3 wide off the corner. You're going to see the 51 of Carter Joey. He's going to slide up right in the 27. Watch this shot. Look at the height. Monaco almost went upside down. Trey Smith also getting involved in there. 76 of Tristan Allen, second week in a row. He's had a very interesting scene in front of him. We'll have to probably take it on board with him in the 76. But violent accident here at the Bristol Motor Speedway for these guys.
Yeah, take a look right here. 51 just moves up a little bit, and Monaco was 3 wide on the outside, and Hoover had nowhere to go when the 51 came up on him, except hard into the outside wall. Bad angle there for the 27, going to knock him out here tonight in the Randy the Plumber night race at Bristol. But it's going to give us a very interesting race now because Landon Smith Jr. does not have a lap car in between him and Brady Wilmington. Wilmington could have a great opportunity here at getting the race lead back away from the 88. We'll have to see what happens when we get to the restart here at Bristol.
Running along here with Tristan Allen, you see the 51 move up right into his path. Evasive maneuvers by the driver of the 76. Great hands by the driver of the newly anointed Josh Williamson Incorporated, making his second ever Mission Barbecue Cup Series start. So definitely been a very interesting couple of races for that 76 team. But like you said, you're going to have the 88 of Landon Smith Jr. It's going to be your leader here on the restart with Brady Wilmington right on his heels. Let's see what these guys can do on the restart here in the Randy the Plumber Bristol night race. Back here at Bristol, wrapping up our first caution of the day at the kind of the point where we kind of jumped off to review that caution. But speaking of that caution, take a look and see who got knocked out. 27 of Jake Hoover, your Dodge 1 winner. Mitchell Collins, Caleb Campbell. I think actually no, Campbell is still in the race, but Mitchell Collins and Jake Hoover, the only guys knocked out from that incident. A lot of guys lap down, green flag back out in the air. Now Madison Tall is already going to have some lap traffic in front of the 88 and the 62. So this could get interesting here.
I don't think Toll's necessarily going to get in the way. She can pull away since she has clean air there, but it does appear these guys might be going a little bit faster than her, so this could be interesting for Landon Smith Jr. Which line will he take, and will it open the door for Brady Wilmington to take the race lead?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be very interesting here. Toll is just blocking the 88. Landon Smith Jr. trying to find a way around her. But since this single groove racetrack, that is next to impossible. Still trying to get around that 99. You see Colton Yo trying to go
might have a run on Wilmington. Couldn't quite get it right there. Now you got the 97 also going to come out. And this is really going to get interesting. NS Racing kind of holding these guys up right here.
Yeah, 2 NS Racing cars are in. Now Wilmington going to go really wide through turns 1 and 2. That's going to open the door for Colton Yo to go to the inside. Yo, if he gets a second win, he could probably make his way into the second wildcard spot. And the yellow flag is back out here at Bristol. Looks like Cole Sampson went around.
Ooh.
Fitzy
Stapleton.
and Nathan Stapleton. That's going to end Eric Monaco's day. Oh, make sure these guys
gotta be careful with Stapleton right there in the middle of the racetrack, but I think they had already taken the caution, so they're going to slow it back down. Quick yellow. This might be an opportunity for these guys to top off on the fuel and make it to the end of the race. So we'll have to see if anyone does that here. But they will stay out there, which would lead me to believe that they should be good to go to the end of the event without having to come back down.
Yeah, and you just saw there Eric Monaco. He's not going to be the points leader after this. Look, with all the laps, Landon Smith Jr. is leading. I think he's definitely going to be the points leader after this one. And the very hard hit for Nathan Stapleton. All 3 NS Racing cars in the picture within the span of 30 seconds for all the wrong reasons, unfortunately, especially the owner-driver for that team, Nathan Stapleton, going for a wild ride. 2 cars already upside down here at Bristol, and it doesn't appear anyone's going to hit the pit lane, so quick green flag run here past the halfway point in the Randy the Plumber Bristol night race. So review these guys, review what happened to bring out the second caution here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. So this is a multi-part incident, but you're going to see the first incident right here. Zachary Fitzwater going to hook Eric Monaco, going to spin him right into Cole Sampson, who is right on that cut line in the 5 car. It's going to spin him around. That's what's initially going to trigger the yellow flag. But then what we saw, 3 wide between these guys. Nathan Stapleton into Fitzy and Monaco. And then just going to do a slow rollover in the 98. And then the guy who this definitely impacts the most is Zachary Fitzwater. He's going to be knocked out of this one. And he's going to be outside the top 10 in points. It's going to give James Edwards the points lead. You see Eric Monaco just going to kind of torpedo his day right into Nathan Stapleton, trying to set him upright in the 98. And that's what it's going to do. So Nathan Stapleton is on all 4 tires, but he, Eric Monaco, and Fitzy are all going to be in the garage area after this one, unfortunately. Tough break for all 3 of those guys, especially Zachary Fitzwater and Eric Monaco.
Yeah, Fitzy just got to the inside there, and that's why we don't do double file restarts. Monaco's definitely slow right there, and then the transition back up into the racetrack did not work out well for the 98 of Nathan Stapleton. Second flip of the night, but thankfully Eric Monaco knew his day was already done. Might as well help him out, get back on all 4s so he can get out of the race car. Tough break for Zachary Fitzwater as well. That's going to affect the chase. He's on the bubble right there, so we'll have to see if anyone jumps him in the points. But either way, get back to racing here at Bristol in the Randy the Plumber night race. Should be interesting with Landon Smith Jr. out front here at Bristol.
Back here at the last great Coliseum, wrapping up our 3rd caution of the day, and a couple more gladiators were knocked out of this one. Eric Monaco going to finish 38th, Nathan Stapleton 37th, and Fitzy 36th. So definitely not what those guys needed, especially for Fitzy and Monaco. But Landon Smith Jr., Eric Monaco's points rival, is your leader here. We'll just have to wait and see. We're going to see the number 1 of Colton Yo. He looked underneath the 88. Interesting there. I think Colton Yo, he's looking to get that second wild card position away from Ryan Benjamin, if I'm not mistaken here. Who's going to have to wrestle with your points lead. The guy who's definitely going to be your points leader coming out of this one.
Yeah, Landon Smith Jr. has done an excellent job today. Obviously got the lead away from Brady Wilmington, but Colton Yo is right there. We'll have to see if he can make a move on the 88 without any lap traffic. He's still right behind the 88 machine, but he's going to go wide. That's going to open the door for Brady Wilmington to possibly close in there for second.
Wilmington is back here. Voiles is up here. They got Jonathan Logan, Nathan Buchanan having his best run of the season. Same with Juan Rodriguez. Riley Sampson just looking to get some points here. And the yellow flag is back out. Looks like Daisy Johnson got turned around. Probably off of turn 3. Hearing some cars in the wall. Actually, off of turn 2, I think it was just a simple little spin. Doesn't appear that anyone flipped upside down, but once again, another quickie yellow here. You see the 2 women in the field. I think they may have gotten together here off of turn 2, and now the question is if these guys come down and possibly top off, because I think they can definitely make it from here if they top off, but nobody's going to come down here.
Yeah, I mean, I think all these caution flags, all these caution laps are going to help them make it to the end anyway, so I don't believe it's going to be an issue for these guys. Hopefully it won't be, but Landon Smith Jr. will have to maneuver another restart with Colton Yo right behind him there, the number 1 machine. That'll definitely be interesting.
Yeah, but before we get to said restart, let's take a look and see what happened to bring out our 4th caution of the night here. Actually, no, our 3rd caution of the night, excuse me, here at the Bristol Night Race for the, at the Bristol Motor Speedway, I should say, for the Randy the Plumber Bristol Night Race. So I mentioned Ryan Benjamin being in danger of possibly losing his wild card position to Colton Yo, so he's doing everything in his power possible to not to, including kind of moving up and hopefully unintentionally turning around Daisy Johnson. Johnson kind of getting a taste of her own medicine after the Chicagoland race on Thursday, getting dumped on the back straight away by someone that they thought she was in her way, so don't think she's taken too kindly to that, but what goes around comes around in this world. Get you the real-time replay in just a hot minute.
Yeah, just a little edgy off the corner right there. Daisy Johnson had the inside on her teammate, and Ryan Benjamin had the inside on her, and it's just not a good place to go 3 wide off the corner. Thankfully, that was all that ensued. No flips. We'll have another restart. Another opportunity for Colton Yo to possibly take this race lead away from Landon Smith Jr.
Definitely will be. Colton Yo looking for a 2nd win of the season to possibly give himself a wild card spot. Let's see what these guys can do on the restart here at Thunder Valley for the Randy the Plumber Bristol Night Race. We're back here at the Bristol Motor Speedway wrapping up our 3rd caution of the day, and nobody was knocked out. In fact, number 14 of Zachary Davis looks like he is no longer with us. Probably had a mechanical issue, so tough break for driver of the number 14 car, your Milwaukee winner. But back up front here, 30 laps to go here from Bristol. Landon Smith Jr. with a great jump over the one of Colton Yo, but Colton Yo going to go a little bit wide, had Brady Wilmington looking underneath them.
Brady Wilmington's there as well. If Landon Smith Jr. goes just a little wide into the corner, that number 1 could be there. Brady Wilmington might be there, and he is for 2nd on Colton Yo. He wants to take this race lead back away. Yo's in the wall. But Brady Wilmington got held up by the lap traffic earlier on in this race. That's why Landon Smith Jr. is leading right now. He wants to get back on the back bumper of the 88 and take the lead back.
And now another driver to count in this possible, trying to think of what the word is here, wild card battle. We see Jonathan Logan get really wide off, loose off of turn 2. Daniel Voiles, if he gets a 2nd win, he won at Watkins Glen, so don't count him out. There is no 30 position 30 rule. You have to be above 30 in points. If you have 2 wins, like any the highest wins and the 2nd highest wins, you can sneak your way into the chase. But meanwhile, it's between Wilmington and Landon Smith Jr. Wilmington trying to be a dark horse, top 3 dark horse for this championship, or definitely entering the chase here. Just have to see what he can do during the chase. I think Landon Smith Jr. Eric Monaco are virtually locked in. Landon Smith Jr. with all the bonus points, he's definitely going to lock himself in after this one.
Brady Wilmington's closing in here. If Landon Smith Jr., I mean, if this thing actually stays green long enough, we could catch back to the rear of the field again. And if that's the case, Landon Smith Jr. is going to have to maneuver around the guys in the back, and that'll definitely be interesting if that's the case. But Brady Wilmington's right there for that race lead, and if Landon Smith Jr. makes one mistake, that 62 might move right to the inside.
Yeah, no, I think lap traffic is definitely going to come into play if we don't have another yellow flag, because it took them roughly 15 or so laps to catch up. But Wilmington with a strong run in that Pacific Racing car, and I really don't want to move from this battle because he is getting close. But speaking of,
you might want to stick right there because that 62 had a run there. It's getting really tight, but Smith Jr. able to hold on for now. I think Wilmington might be a little bit better. A little ride right there, but he might get a good run off the corner right here and have a shot into turn 3.
He is just yeeting it through the corners in that 62. And speaking of Pacific Racing, kind of cut away for a second, but James Edwards, as of now, would have the top 10, would be inside the top 10, surpassing Fitzy in the chase. So that would be awesome if Pacific Racing could get both of their cars into the inaugural chase for the Mission Barbecue Cup Series Championship. But Wilmington is locked in, so he is just looking for wins at this point, really wide through turns 1 and 2. 20 laps to go here from the Bristol Motor Speedway, slowly catching up on lap traffic here, and that's definitely going to play into who wins this race.
Yeah, no doubt about it. If we stay green, Landon Smith Jr. is going to catch up to the back of the field, and that may be what Brady Wilmington needs to take this win back away from the 88 machine. But I got to give a lot of credit to Landon Smith Jr. in this one so far because he's been able to keep that number 88 out front on these restarts and hasn't had any battle for the race lead essentially. And even when he has, he's been able to pull away and hold on. So he's got a considerable gap right now ahead of Brady Wilmington. Will it be enough to hold on once he gets around the lap traffic here in a few laps? I don't know. I will say this. He is definitely going to score the most points here as definitely led the most laps here at the Bristol Motor Speedway and is going to get the 5-lap bonus ahead of, if he wins, he's going to get 190 points on top of, actually no, beneath of his lap count, his lap points. As lap points, yeah, definitely going to be changing that for next season. It's definitely in a long race like that, or a high lap count point like race like this, the amount of lap points is definitely disproportional, but that will be after this season. I want to stay consistent with all this. But closing in on 10 laps to go here from Bristol. 13 to go here now. Looks like they're going to catch up to the 38 of Trey Smith in just a few moments. And I think most of the cars are all single file, so I don't think we're going to see the chaotic double file passing here. But passing lap cars is not as easy as it sounds. This is still a one-groove racetrack. 11 laps to go. This time by, I should say, for the driver of the number 88, looking for his 3rd win of the season. Yeah, Landon Smith Jr. has done a great job in this one. The big question is, once he catches up to the back of the field, I mean, it may not be enough time. He might be able to finish the race out before he catches up to Trey Smith. That's a possibility. And yeah, I think Trey Smith's all by himself right there in the 38 machine, but he does have damage. And more than likely, Landon Smith Jr. is going to catch up to Trey Smith here before the end of this one, but that might be the only lap car that Landon Smith Jr. has to negotiate around. So if that's going to be the case, Landon Smith Jr. is going to have a much easier time winning this race than what we initially thought. But he will catch up to Trey Smith. He's got to get around him cleanly, or otherwise, Brady Wilmington's going to be right there looking to strike for the race lead.
8 laps to go for the driver of the number 88. Landon Smith Jr. looking for his 3rd win of the season, and Daniel Voiles is going to get a good point today. So is Colton Yo. Nathan Buchanan, a career best day for the driver of that number 12 Mopar. Riley Sampson also with some good points to see. Notice it's lagging out a lot more now with more cars with damage. As hoping this game does not crash, but here coming off 6 laps to go. Landon Smith Jr. has caught up to the 38 of Trey Smith. His game is really lagging now. And now how does he approach him? He's going to get held up just a little bit here, trying to go wide, and this is going to reel in Wilmington.
Ooh, yeah. Trey Smith's holding the inside here on Landon Smith Jr., and that is holding him up. And Smith Jr. trying to work the outside lane because he doesn't have anywhere else to go. Oh boy, this is really going to get interesting. Wilmington's going to be right there. Landon Smith Jr. finally going to get nose to the inside. But Brady Wilmington is now right on the back bumper of the 88 machine here. And Smith Jr. is not going to be able to get a good run off the corner right there. Wilmington might still have a shot here on the 88 for the race lead.
Oh, 4 to go here from Bristol. Wilmington did not have a good corner exit. I'm not sure if that will do it.
Yeah, Trey Smith was to his outside. He couldn't. That might have just sealed it right there for Landon Smith Jr.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to catch up to Matt Tuck in time. I don't know. Brady Wilmington, he's still going to get some good points, but the biggest winner in points is Popsicle 6 in the air. 2 laps to go for Landon Smith Jr. He is going to have a plethora of points in that number 88. He might get over 300 points, and that would catapult him right into the lead. But coming here, white flag one more time around for the driver of the number 88, Landon Smith Jr. He's had a couple of rickety races, but definitely not going to have a rickety race. Coming out of turns 3 and 4, checker flag, final gladiator standing. Landon Smith Jr. wins here at Bristol. We see a lot of cars ceremoniously just killing each other there. Keegan Thompson just going to run right in the back of Danny DeVito Jr., so not going to be good for those drivers' payrolls, or like those teams' paychecks, I should say. But it's a computer game. This doesn't really cost anything, so it doesn't really matter. But Landon Smith Jr., I think he already went... there he is. Landon Smith Jr. is your winner here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Over Brady Wilmington, that's Daniel Voiles, Colton Yo, Nathan Buchanan, Jonathan Logan, Tyler Reynolds, Keegan Thompson with another nice 8th place finish. Same for Tyler Reynolds. Reynolds has definitely been the quietest and most consistent driver this season. He could possibly be a dark horse to win this championship. But then Logan Williams and Nathan Smith round out your top 10. Take a look and see who was all knocked out and all laps down. Trey Smith retired, I think. We didn't have an incident on the final lap, but I think that's just what it says. Zachary Davis had a tire issue. That's why he finishes P35. And Zachary Fitzwater and Eric Monaco, the biggest names down at the bottom of the standings list. Monaco, he's pretty much locked into the chase, but Zachary Fitzwater cannot be said for him, because James Edwards, trying to find where he is here. He may have finished 23rd, 1 lap down. But still, he's way ahead of Zachary Fitzwater. So James Edwards is more than likely going to be in the top 10 with 2 races remaining and 1 track remaining. But final thoughts on this race, Napa fan. Very chaotic one here from Bristol with Landon Smith Jr. getting his 3rd win of the season.
Yeah, definitely a solid race all around. We didn't have a wreck fest, which is nice. Nice to see these guys race it out on the racetrack a little bit right there. But yeah, the lap traffic came into play there before we had our first caution when Landon Smith Jr. got around Brady Wilmington for the race lead. So that was the moment of the race, and Landon Smith Jr. gets his 3rd win of the season here at Bristol.
It definitely was. And then stick around for tomorrow, I should say, because we're not done for this weekend. We had Saturday night short track action, and then tomorrow we're gonna have a Sunday afternoon and Sunday night short track action. Going to be the ASE Die Hard 400 from North Wilkesboro tomorrow afternoon, and then tomorrow evening we're going to the night version of North Wilkesboro. Going to be the Realtree Save the Speedway 350, and then after that we'll calculate everything, and then we'll take the top 10 in points, and then 2 wildcard drivers to see who will make up the inaugural chase field here in the inaugural season of the Mission Barbecue Cup Series. But that's all I've got. On behalf of Napa Fan, congratulations to Landon Smith Jr. in his win in the Randy the Plumber Bristol Night Race. Here are your points standings after 23 of 35 races. From the Bristol Motor Speedway, I have been Trey Wright. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, ladies and gentlemen. This has been NASCAR Nerd 34, signing off.